what you have practiced in the past may not be materializing in the body you want. And there's a reason. Your body's different. And even if you believe those practices of more cardio and deprivation dieting, which means counting calories, that is not good for your body in the long run. You are contributing to your longevity when we nourish our bodies with the strategies that I teach. And you will have a much happier and vibrant
Yeah.
menopause, which lasts for the rest of your life.
Hi, and welcome to Beyond Empty Nest. I'm your host, Jody Silverman, speaker, mentor, and Chief Dare Officer at Moms Who Dare. Every Thursday, I'll share stories of midlife transformation, happiness tips, and dare you to see the opportunities waiting for you so that you can make this next chapter even better than the last. If you're ready to dare, I'm ready to dare with you. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Empty Nest, where today we're diving into the art of feeling good in midlife and beyond. This episode is packed with actionable strategies to help you manage everything from sleep and stress to movement, nutrition, and the everyday challenges of midlife. Join us as we explore simple yet powerful ways to prioritize self-care so you can look and feel your best. Plus, find out which foods can help keep weight gain at bay, letting you enjoy this stage of life with confidence and vitality. And Adrien Cotton, my guest today, is the perfect guest to talk into this. She believes the greatest gift you can give yourself is a gift of wellness. She excels in shifting mindsets and helping her clients create small habits that yield lasting results. As a transformational wellness coach, speaker, and creator of Master Menopause Now, an online resource for perimenopausal and menopausal women, Adrien leverages her holistic, one-of-a-kind approach to help women feel renewed, well-being, strong, and confident in their bodies and their lives. Adrien, welcome to Beyond Empty Nest.
Thank you, Jody. Always good to see you.
Oh, it's great. We actually, fun fact for the audience and our listeners, that we go way back. I
We
think you
do.
were a guest on my very first show, In the Nest with Jody, pre-pandemic.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, there's PC and AC, before COVID and after COVID, right?
That's right. That's
So
right.
yeah. And Adrian, this is a really important topic because we all know, midlife has many challenges. And a big one that I talk about a lot is empty nest, our kids leaving. And I think what we often talk about, the sadness associated with our kids leaving, and yet what we miss talking about is all the other stuff, because we all have stuff that's happening to us and in our lives as this major life transition occurs, such as menopause
Right.
and weight gain and pain during sex, all this stuff that is associated with menopause and not feeling well, and that affects, and it can actually fuel the emotions that we're feeling during this time. So I'm really happy you're here, and we're gonna get into a conversation all about feeling good in midlife and beyond. Before we dive into the actual guts of this conversation, is there anything you want to share about your background with our community while we're here?
Sure. I well, my journey brought me to start this business to help midlife women really navigate this period of their lives, no pun, from 40 and beyond, because I myself had what I call my perimenopause prison, where I had my children when I was 40. I had twin toddlers. I believe I had postpartum depression and perimenopause, both I was unaware of at the time. And so through my journey and through a lot of my angst and a lot of my challenges, I recognized that at the same time, many of my clients were experiencing the same thing. I couldn't sleep. I had unbridled stress. I was gaining weight by the day. I couldn't lose the weight. I owned a gym and all of my exercise practices weren't working. So what I did was I started this company to help women really navigate this in a way that's a little smarter than, and maybe even I would like to say a little deeper than they were able to navigate life from their 20s to their 40s. So
And
40
it
and beyond is what I focus on.
Yeah, it's really it's very different. We are, we're
Very
not
different.
the same as we were even when we were
No,
30 or
no,
40.
we are not.
No,
We are
totally.
not.
So, all right, we're going to dive into it then. Let's learn. You're going to help us learn some practical strategies to manage, and a big one is sleep.
Yes.
A big one
Yes.
is sleep. I mean, I know so many. I mean, look, I'll just say it. I don't want to give myself a jinx here, but my maiden name is Fagus, and the Fagus side of the family is a gift of sleep.
That is quite a gift.
And yet all my friends have to take something to go to
Yes.
sleep. So
Many
let's
women
talk
do.
about this.
Yes. So let me start with my wellness wheel.
Okay,
So
go
the
ahead.
reason why I want to start with my wellness wheel is I really believe, and I'm just going to show it on screen, is my wellness wheel is really my proprietary approach. No one else is doing this. No one else is talking about
Keep
these
that up. I'm going to, for those of you
folks.
that are listening, you're going to want to watch this. I'm actually going to, I want to put you, see if I can spotlight you. So, I can't.
Yeah, so I'll describe it as you're doing that in the
Yeah,
interest of
please.
efficiency for your listeners. So I developed this approach after I recognized that I had struggled and many of my clients had struggled when I owned a gym. And then I looked back in my life on Capitol Hill and in politics and in public affairs and communications, all these jobs I had, that women were really struggling because we held the belief that if we just cut calories a little bit and we exercised a little harder, then we would find almost this body nirvana, that we would find we could fit in our jeans and then therefore we would feel better about ourselves.
Okay.
So I learned that I needed to develop an approach that was holistic, that included more than diet and exercise, which are two very important components of our health and wellness. Yet all of the other spokes around the wheel that I'm holding up, let me know when I can put it down, include really sleep is the foundation. Sleep is the foundation of my wheel because when we don't get our sleep, we do stress more. We do eat foods that may not fuel our bodies and nourish our bodies in the way they should be nourished or they need to be nourished. We don't definitely want to exercise if we are sleep
Yeah.
deprived. Our aging process, and why I say aging is this is menopause. This is perimenopause and menopause. When we don't get our sleep, we are not able to recover and really replenish our body to be able to navigate that new phase of our lives where our hormones are in a different place. And then I have calendar on my wheel. And I have calendar because we women tend to take care of a lot of people around us. We may have a team at work we take care of. We
Mhm.
may care for elderly parents. We may care for children, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, neighbors, friends. So we tend to put our own self-care needs to the side or the last
Yeah.
on our list. So calendar in my program helps women really develop a calendar where they can be first and
Yeah.
not feel selfish.
Which is so important. So before I unpin you, for those of you not watching,
Yeah.
in the middle is wellness, and there are six, one, two, three,
Folks.
six spokes to this wheel: food, movement, sleep, aging, stress, and calendar. I highly recommend run over to my website and check out the video part of this.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I started. I recognized I did the research, I did the work. I talked to some of the leaders in the menopause area, and I already had my nutrition and exercise background. So I put together this approach that started with sleep because I recognized after I really lifted up the cover of the car and I thought, oh my goodness, this is the magic. Now, most women still, women listening to your podcast right now will say, right. They don't believe it because for how many years have we been listening to a lot, oftentimes our mothers when we're little, and then friends, and then we go to college and we learn, we watch others around us, and they are eating less, they are exercising more, and they're ending up looking quote unquote great.
Yes. Yes.
However, temporary, and it doesn't work once perimenopause happens because our hormones are very different. And we need to really fuel our bodies with sleep first. Like I said, my wheel is very interconnected. My sleep, when my sleep is good, my stress level and my cortisol, my stress hormone, are not elevated. I want to eat foods that nourish me and fuel me, and I will have less hunger and less cravings, and I will feel more satisfied, and I will walk away from food for a period of time, which we need to during the day. And then all the other spokes around the wheel fall into place when I get that 7 to 7.5 hours of uninterrupted sleep,
All right.
which
Well, wait a
means,
minute. We have to talk about that for a minute. But
yeah, I figured as much.
I am 150% on board that it has to start with sleep. Because, because I'm thinking, as you're talking, I'm thinking, when I'm tired, I'm vulnerable. When I'm vulnerable, I want a meatball parm sub with a side of French fries from Mama's Pizza in my area.
Right.
When I
Yeah.
have my sleep and I feel good, I'll make my baked chicken or my salmon, and that's enough. But when
Right.
I'm not, so I get that. I totally get that. It's the uninterrupted sleep I have to, because I'm a great sleeper, but
Uh-huh.
and yet I do wake up at least once a night to go to the bathroom. I go right back to sleep. I don't even turn lights on. And yet it's very rare that that I don't wake up at some point
Yes.
to go to the bathroom.
Yes. So, Judy, I would say, in the strictest perspective, that is not good sleep
Okay.
because you are interrupting those cycles. So our body, our brain, this 3 pound organ in our heads, cycles through 4 phases of sleep.
Okay.
And okay, so when we start with one, and that's when we fall asleep. It lasts for about 5 minutes. A lot of the sleep experts will actually say there's 4 or 5, but essentially we cycle through these phases of sleep. After one comes two, after two comes three, after three comes four, after four comes five, and then we go back to two because one is just that stage where we fall asleep.
Right.
When we get up to use the restroom in the middle of the night, we have to start back at one. So what happens is those deep sleep
Um,
phases suffer. And in deep sleep is when our brain really gets its juice. We capture memories. We are building muscle. We're building our human growth hormone. Our hormones are balancing. Our brains are busier when we're asleep than when we're awake. So I would say, if you still feel great, I would use you, Jody, as a great example. If you still feel great, you still feel motivated to exercise, you're still feeling like your stress is not, I mean, you're responding, not reacting to the uncontrolled stress, I would say keep on going. I might recommend that about 2 hours before you fall asleep, you go to sleep, you stop drinking liquid.
That's a big one. Yeah. I do notice that. I do notice because I have done some of the work. I have more to learn from you, but I have done some of the work on paying attention and self-awareness of what helps and what doesn't. And if I
Right.
can stop drinking as of like 7 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
no
it
water, nothing.
it helps.
Yeah,
Yeah, but honestly, if that's your biggest challenge is you get up, but then you're able to get right back to sleep,
that's good.
most of your listeners, well, I would say the majority of your listeners likely suffer from awakenings in the middle of the night between one
Yes.
and three in the morning. And
Yes.
that is 100% from stress during the day.
Yeah.
So you can take all of your stress that we have in our lives from perhaps elderly parents, problems at work, perhaps relationship issues, stress, traffic, you name the stress. We take it. I use this example. You take it, you put it in a suitcase, and you bring that suitcase to bed with you.
That sounds terrible.
It's an
But it's
awful
true,
thing.
but it's true.
So we wake up between 1 and 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that is really in large part because our cortisol spikes and we wake up. And a lot of times, many of your listeners cannot get right back to sleep. You're able to, which is fantastic.
And
You may have no
yeah.
issue.
And I do recognize that. I do. I had an ongoing joke when I used to drink more during the week, especially during the pandemic. It wasn't just like weekend drinking now. It was like every night was happy hour.
Oh,
I,
right.
I used to
On
joke with
Zoom.
yeah, I used to joke with my friends. We could all get together at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we might as
I
well.
could find 10 of my closest friends. I was waking up, sweating,
Yeah,
and
alcohol will do that.
yeah,
Alcohol will do that too. So yes, we do wake up in the middle of the night. However, so I think you get the point. Sleep is the
yes.
foundation because it feeds, no pun, off of every one of your other strategies.
So what are some strategies that we can do? They sound simple, but I want people to hear. I know you're going to offer strategies for sleep, like number one, limiting, like for me, like limiting how much I drink
Yes.
liquid. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The 10-3-2 rule is a rule that I learned from my coach many years ago, Craig Ballantyne. I give him absolute credit for this. 10 hours before sleep, no caffeine. Caffeine stays in our system for 10 hours.
Wow.
3 hours before, are you sitting down? No blue light, no technology, no TV,
Uh,
no phone, no computer.
hours.
It's tough. No work. Tough. It's a tough one. What I actually, when women hear this and they panic, that's why, as you introduced me in my bio, I teach the habits. I teach the science of habit, the neuroscience of the way that we can capture these small new habits and how they stack upon each other. Start small. Start at, 3 hours before. Start at 2 hours, 45 minutes before.
Got
And
it.
then the 2 hours before, no liquid. 10-3-2. And then the most important thing I would tell anyone who's just starting out to think about their sleep after she's made that switch to, okay, I'm convinced. I'm going to try this thing about sleep with this woman on Jody's podcast. Then you're going to set your bedroom up for success. You're going to set your sleep environment up for success. Your bedroom needs to be cold, between 66 and 68 degrees. It needs to be dark, dark. I mean, dark, quiet, all noise out. So, however you can do that, maybe you need earplugs, whatever you need to do. And dark, you may need an eye mask. If you have a partner who snores, which is quite common, earplugs. Yes, it's very common, men and women. And then calm. I
Hmm.
want your bedroom to be a haven for sleep. I want our bedroom to feel like I'm going to the Four Seasons every night. I want cozy, comfortable sheets. I want nice PJs. I want it to feel like my most important appointment of the day, and I'm looking forward to it. And you will when you have a bed that looks this way, your bedroom's set up like this. Maybe it's white noise, maybe it's classical music, whatever it is. And so that's the first step that I teach my
That's
clients.
that's big self-care right there.
It is, and it doesn't take much time.
It's what you just said, cold, dark, quiet, calm, that you want it to feel like you're in the Four Seasons. And well, let's talk about the Westin. The Westin is known for their beds like that really
Right, the Weston's bed,
plush.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That
Heavenly bed, the
that is
heavenly bed.
something I would venture to say that's something a lot of listeners they don't even think about. They think, oh, it's no big deal if my comforter is, 20 years old and
Right.
I bought a new one for my guest room or a new one for my parents.
Of course you do for
It,
your guests,
it,
right? And
it does
pillows.
make a difference
Pillows need to be replaced every year.
every year.
Pillows need to be replaced every year. Mattresses, you really need to take a hard look at when was the last time you purchased a mattress?
Yes.
Test them out. We spend the majority of our lives in in bed.
Yeah.
Invest.
Okay. So but then we could probably go just have this whole episode be about sleep.
We could,
It
but let's
could.
not.
It could. No, we're gonna just a heads up to everybody. We're gonna go a little longer on this episode because this is we're approaching the holidays and this is a really important episode. And so we're gonna go a little longer. So if you need to push pause, go get your tea or water, push pause, but then come right back because now I want to get into because I know you want to we talk about the importance of sleep. You want to talk about the importance of movements. So that was a little self-care, but then I also really want to talk about because we're entering the holidays, like what we can eat and feed
Yes.
ourselves to help mitigate that weight gain
Yes.
and begin to have our bodies work for us instead of against us.
Yeah. So let's start with we need to eat.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
We need food. There's a ton of shame associated with eating, and it shouldn't be this way. We are primarily meant to eat food and drink water. So it's okay to eat. During the holidays, I will often recommend to my clients have a plan. If you know you're going to a holiday party, of course, it's very common, eat before you go.
Yeah.
Eat something that you really love at home before you go, because who wants to be standing at a party anyway with a little plate and a fork and your glass? You've always seen the person who has the glass
Yes.
of wine here, and who wants to do that?
Yeah.
So have your plan. And if you're going to decide that that's going to be the night because maybe you learned that she's making something delicious that night, go for it.
Yeah.
No shame. No shame. If you have a party a week, let's say, is that something that you would do? Would you have maybe a holiday party every week?
Oh, I have a lot. I have a lot
Okay,
of,
so
yeah.
okay, so this is good to know. So you have a party every week. So maybe you take a look at your month and you have party A, B, C, D. So at party A and C, because I know what they're having, and they're going to have this amazing cocktail, they're making these special margaritas. I'm going for it. But at B and D, I'm not. And I'm not depriving myself because I'm going to really look forward to the cocktail at C, and perhaps at cocktail A, they're going to have this unbelievable cheese souffle yummy thing. Go for it. Yes, and eat before. Practice the same thing. Make it a pattern. Eat well before you go, if you can, even if you're meeting girlfriends before. Eat well before. Drink tons of water. And I always tell women at parties, if you're going to have a cocktail, have a glass of water after.
Yes.
Your second cocktail, if you're Ubering and you've got driving taken care of, have another glass of water. And by then you're probably finished. And if you have that third, trust me, we all do, third glass of water. And then when it comes to the food, really try it, splurge, go for it. Food is joy. It's one of the main ways we find joy is through our taste. The whole science of taste is a fabulous way to study that we teach in our program, is how taste really influences, came from our childhood, but how taste, we have taste when we're born. So we have developed this palate for particular types of food. Go for it. There's no shame in eating something you really love.
I love that.
No
Love that.
shame.
Have a plan, eat before,
Eat
have a
before.
plan, have a plan. And you know what? It's interesting because when I go on vacations, I tend to come back feeling better than when I haven't gone on vacation
Yeah.
because I literally say to myself, I can taste everything, but I don't have to eat it all.
Yes.
So I give myself, like when I was going through Paris, I'm like, I'm going to taste everything,
Oh,
but I'm not going
yes.
to eat it all. And you
Right.
know what? I tasted, like you said, the joy of tasting everything.
Yes.
But I never felt, ugh, like I never had that stuff that, and I came back actually just as I left
Feeling great. Yeah, and you walked and walked and
and walked and
walked
walked.
and
So
walked. We
yeah,
walked a lot
movement,
in Paris. Oh
bit of
my goodness.
movement. Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure that you take your movement very seriously during the holidays. It's not only wonderful for our waistlines and for our physique, it's great for our stress.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic for our sleep. So movement is primal. We are meant to move. We are not meant to sit all day. And driving, my friends, is sitting. A lot of our clients and my members of my community forget that when we're driving, we are still sitting. Even though the car's moving, we are not. So move throughout the day. Move. Find 5 minutes here and there where you can walk out to the street or around your condo complex, whatever it is, the hallway at your office. Move, 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 move throughout the day. And I say do that all the time, not only just the holidays, during the holidays, but and stay away from the fads. Stay away from the cleanses, the new exercise fads, particularly over the holidays,
Yeah.
because we are setting ourselves up for failure. If we
I
say
love
we're going to go on some special diet over the holidays, the chances of you succeeding are quite slim. In
very,
fact, don't diet at all because they don't work. The nutrition and food industry knows that. That's why they are $100 billion industry,
yeah.
because they are selling diets that don't work, because the human brain doesn't work that way.
I love everything you said. I love the no shame, have a plan.
And
I do. I have that water. I had a friend who say, "You drink a glass of water after every drink." I'm like, "Yeah. Number one, I'm not hungover. Number two, it fills me up, and
right.
I mean, it keeps me hydrated. I feel
Yeah.
so much good, so I can have that second drink and I feel okay."
Yeah. You clean your teeth of all the stuff that's in the food that you're eating.
Yeah.
It's another
Great,
great way to do
great
it.
points.
You can get away to go to the restroom if you need to, like, excuse yourself from an uncomfortable conversation. It's beautiful.
I love that. Have a plan, no shaming, eat well before, drink lots of water, enjoy yourself, like permission to enjoy yourself.
You only get the holidays once a
And
year.
move and move. You know what?
Move.
Interesting story, Adrian. My dog passed away 2 years ago.
Oh,
And I know it's hard. I'm still sad. It's like it happened yesterday. And it was like within the first week, I realized one day I went at 4 o'clock. I realized I hadn't left my house. And when I had a dog, I was up like every hour, letting her out and playing. And so now I set my alarm. I don't do it all the time because I have realized, and I had a physical therapist tell me about the whole sitting thing and how unhealthy it is. But I felt it in my body. And now I literally have to set my alarm for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes to remind
yes.
me to get up.
Same. Me too. I could sit all day. And
Yeah.
I'm in the industry. Absolutely. Because we
Yeah.
feel this need to answer all the email and we feel this need to, that's another story for another day. But
All right. So you shared a lot. You shared a lot. I really encourage you, if you did listen, just go back, go to my website, jodasilverman.com, click the podcast, look at the video, because at the beginning you could see the wheel, Adrien's wheel. Um, and Adrien, you do have a special, I call it it's a gift. It's a gift for the community. I want you to talk briefly about your program because it is a one of a kind program. It's called Master Menopause Now. And so tell everybody why you call it the first of its kind program to support women.
sure. So Master Menopause Now is a compilation, a series of videos that someone buys outright. And it has each one of the spokes of the wheel that you just learned about has somewhere between 5 and 8 videos to teach you the science behind why sleep, food, all these different components of your wellness are important, and strategies. I have worksheets. I have a ton of information because I truly believe that women are still stuck in the mindset that we need to approach our bodies how we did when we were in our 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And I can promise you, your body is very different once you're approaching perimenopause, which for most women is in their 40s. Average age is 47, but you start much earlier than you actually see the changes in your cycle.
So what I want you to expand a little more on how long is the average of each video in each module?
So each video, right? So I constructed it for busy women. So each video lasts between 5 and 8 minutes.
Okay.
Each video is 5 to 8 minutes, and each module, for example, sleep, has between 5 and 8 videos of 5 to 8 minutes in length. And so each of those modules has a series of videos, and they all follow the same template of science, mindset, strategies.
I love
And I
that.
usually tell a story about someone with whom I've worked because most women can connect with the women who I've worked with. So that is one of my programs, and I'm offering 20% off, as you know, for your listeners. The
I
program is an amazing deal for 197 minus 20%.
20%. So it's
So we just do the math.
$159. There's a
Yeah,
link below. Ladies, this is a gift for yourself for the holidays. You're going to buy yourself the first gift for the holidays. And after you've taken care of yourself, you're going to buy your gifts for everybody else. But
right.
this is a gift. I
That's
mean,
true.
and I have to, we talked about that before I hit record. Adrian and I talked about this. We're both coaches, and sometimes coaches have to, we're kind, we're compassionate, we meet you where you are, and then there's times we have to call things out. A coach is there to help you move forward, to support you moving forward. Sometimes we have to call it out. We cannot continue, and I say we because I'm included. I was a yo-yo, up and down, up and down, up and down. Finally, I've managed myself, but we cannot continue to want to just jump to the punchline, to like just fix our bodies and fix our weight and feel good tomorrow without understanding why it is we feel the way we do, why it is our bodies
Right.
feel like they're rebelling against us. When we can understand that, that's why your module with the science behind it, understanding it, and then here are some strategies. So which strategy resonates with you? Because we're all built differently.
Right.
We must understand it. And that's what Adrien, that's what it sounds like to me, like you did with this program. Like, understand why it is your body is going through what it's going. So
Yeah.
now it makes sense when you understand and you can make sense and then implement your strategies. That's lasting results. Well, how would it feel if 2024 was like the last year you struggled with the like feeling like crap?
Right. You struggled with your body. I mean,
Yeah.
what if 2025 was the year where you finally felt amazing and strong?
Yes. In your
Wow.
body. I
It's,
mean,
and I have to promise you, it is possible. It is
yeah.
for me. I'm almost 58. I feel better at 58, almost 58, 57 than I did at 47 because I got smart
Yeah.
and I have figured it out.
And I've known you for a long time, so it's not a lot of programs that are offered on this program. And I'm telling you, ladies, click the link below, check it out. The link automatically is going to give you the 20% off
Yeah.
because you're part of this community. If not, the code they created was Dare 20, but just click the link.
Yeah. Click the link.
You don't
Yeah.
need a new pair of boots. Ask somebody else to buy you the new pair of boots this year.
Right.
You're going to buy this program. This is
Yeah.
the program for you. And you're going to go through each model. You're going to set a calendar and you're going to finally do it. So you do have a dare for closing remarks and your dare for this, for our listeners.
Yeah, and I'll start with there are other ways to work with me too. Jody said they can find me at Adrien M. Cotton on LinkedIn. I'm not on LinkedIn. Adrien Cotton on LinkedIn, Adrien M. Cotton on Instagram.
Okay.
And
We'll have
on my
those links here
website,
below.
all that stuff is on your web
Yeah.
notes. But I have a program. So come and talk to me. So I do online consults. I do a number of consults every day with women who are just curious about
Yeah.
how they could work with me or just ask questions. So I have a 30-minute free consult for anybody who's interested. I would say my biggest dare for women is to dig really deep. It's time. It's time. What you have practiced in the past is may not be materializing in the body you want. And there's a reason. Your body's different. And even if you believe those practices of more cardio and deprivation dieting, which means counting calories, that is not good for your body in the long run. You are contributing to your longevity when we nourish our bodies with the strategies that I teach. And you will have a much happier and vibrant
Yeah.
menopause, which lasts for the rest of your life and the rest of your life. It
Yeah.
does. It lasts forever.
So your dare, I'm going to summarize this dare. Ready? We're daring you to be open to change your mindset
Yes.
from what was to an approach weight loss and your overall health and wellness in a different way because you are a different woman today than you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Perfect. And you're smarter. You're smarter.
You're smarter. So be open, dare to change your mindset, put yourself first, and a mindset around the approach of weight loss. So we'll type that the dare in the show notes is below so that you can really see it. But this is about taking time to sit. When we ask you, when we give you a dare like this to be open, it's about taking time quiet, out in nature, whatever it is for you, and really sit and think and journal if you're a journal to figure out what is my current mindset and am I open now to change it and then take action on it. That's what we're asking you to do is to really sit and become a little more self-aware as to where your mindset has been, where it is currently, and where maybe the possibilities are waiting for you. So thank you, Adrien. I love that.
You bet. You bet. I'm happy to
Yeah,
help out. And, you empty nesters, I mean, you're passing along to your daughters and sons too.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Everything you need to connect with Adrien, including that link for 20% off her program,
Yes.
Master Menopause Now, is below. Yeah, enjoy yourself and go back and listen to this again. This was a longer episode with a lot of really good tips and strategies, especially for the holidays. Make yourself a plan. Remember, next week there'll be another new episode of Beyond Empty Nest. And as I always say, dare on. Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond Empty Nest. For detailed show notes and more information, be sure to visit jodysilverman.com. Have you heard of the double dares? Well, we're a community of moms and midlife women blending virtual and in-person interactions for connection, support, and exciting experiences. From Mommy and Me classes to soccer sidelines, moms have always found strength in community. And as we navigate the empty nest and other midlife transitions, having that go-to safe space and other women to lean on is a must. Ladies, this is not the chapter to do it alone. Our drama-free group echoes the sentiment of the Cheers theme song, a place where everybody knows your name and our troubles are all the same. If you've been seeking connection and have a desire to figure out who you are and what your purpose is now, then Moms Who Double Dare is the perfect fit for you. Only through the link in our show notes below can you explore and enjoy the first month at half off. Plus, with no contracts, there's zero risk involved. Join us today and get started on your journey of self-discovery, surrounded by new friends who understand and get you. You've sent your kids off to brave new experiences, meet new people, and discover who they get to be. Now, it's your turn. It's your turn to embrace this new adventure. If you're ready to dare on, I'm here to lead the way. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Click the link below, and as I always say, dare on.